Hello and welcome to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
And that's Brett Chapin across from me. How's everybody doing today?
Thanks for joining us on La La Land. This is the only nationally broadcast show by Los Angeles artists about Los Angeles artists on episode 103, Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
Oh, yeah, you betcha.
Turn my microphone up. There we go.
Okay.
We had a fun night last night.
We did. Oh, my gosh. We went to the Center Theater Group downtown. We narrowly got there. I don't know if you noticed, I was like sliding in just before the start of the show.
7:59.
I know, really, it was. I mean, the ladies down at the bathroom going, you have 2 minutes, you have 2 minutes, you have 2 minutes. I'm like, I'm going as fast as I can. But anyway, we managed to get there to the Mark Taper Forum. We went to see Tribes by Nina Raines, and it was just a beautiful play. The minute I read the first article about it, I was obsessed. I really wanted to see it and experience it, and I'm so glad that we did. It was just a beautiful production.
Yeah, me too. It's fantastic, and a big congratulations to Center Theater Group for putting on a fantastic production. If you guys want to check it out, Google Center Theater Group. I believe it's centertheatergroup.org. Go see Tribes the play. It's at the Mark Taper Forum. It's just absolutely fantastic, and I almost don't want to give too much away about it. I almost don't want to tell people.
Well, I think the reason why I was drawn to it, and there has been press about it, so it's not a huge secret, is that one of the actors is a deaf actor, and another actress does sign ASL in the show. And the reason why I was so interested in seeing it is because many years ago when I was in Chicago, my first show out of college, out of Northwestern, was with the Bailiwick Rep, and we did Equus. And it was a really breakthrough show because they combined hearing and hearing impaired actors. And except for the characters of Alan, Jill, and Dr. Solomon, all the adult characters, all the characters were deaf actors that were voiced by ensemble members that also played a horse. And so it was just fascinating and I had known some ASL before. I went to a middle and high schools that were integrated with the hearing impaired community, and I'd done Children of a Lesser God in college and had met Robert Schleifer, who is a Chicago-based deaf actor, but I had no idea how much fun it was going to be, and how difficult it was going to be to learn ASL for all of my lines. I verbalized and had ASL for every single line that I did. The show itself is very taxing. I played Jill. It's very, it's an emotional show. It's very, it takes a lot out of you, but it also gave so much back, and I had such a great time and with my actor friends, and finding out the quirks of being an actor backstage can be different if you're hearing or if you're deaf. Like it turns out that deaf actors can be actually louder backstage than the hearing was, and it, they would depend on me. They were like, "Are we too loud?" I said, "A little bit."
So it's a really great show, guys. Make sure you go see Tribes the play
Absolutely.
over at the Mark Taper Forum. It's opened just on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we should do our theater minute, but I think before we do that, we should maybe tell everybody who's here.
Yes.
Our amazing guest today. We have with us actor, producer Patrick Stewart.
Stewart.
Patrick Cassidy.
I suddenly became bald.
See what happens? We have this thing on the show, Patrick, that either I get the guest name wrong or I get their company wrong. So
their show.
Let's say
this time
Patrick McGowan, Patrick Swayze, Patrick Cassidy. Here we are.
Patrick Cassidy, the amazing Patrick Cassidy, here to talk with us about his event, STAGE stage event. That is Southland Theater Artists Goodwill event coming up on April 6th. Looking forward to talking to him.
Great.
And we also have with us Peter James Smith, actor. Hello. And we've been posting like crazy. We've been posting his...
Where's that applause coming from?
It's coming from your head, sweetie.
Yeah. Or the magic invisible studio audience. He has done a ton of television work. He's done a ton of theater work in Los Angeles. He recently played a Hasidic Jew, which is interesting to me, and we're looking forward to talking to him. Yes. Looking forward to talking to him as well. Guys, if you have any questions for our amazing guest, make sure you give us a call at 323-247-7443, 323-247-7443. It's only been 5 months, and I don't have the number memorized. That's
Seriously.
All right. Guys, make sure you give us a call and join the conversation and talk to our amazing guests. We also have with us Noelle Locke and Alexander Loy of the film Zero Dark Dirty. That is a film with Iron Sheik, Corey Feldman, Daniel Baldwin. I loved it. Did you get a chance to see it, by the way?
I did not get a chance to see it. I've been down for the count, sick all week. So last night was the first time I could be around the public. So. And
they're gonna play a song for us that they performed
fantastic.
In the movie as well.
Oh, great!
So we're looking forward to talking to them. Excellent. Theater Minute. I know that you have a show to promote.
I do. April 12th is when the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee opens at Theater Palisades. I'll be playing Leaf Coney Bear, which is usually a male, but hey, I'm just too fabulous. No, I'm just kidding. So that's what we're doing. And Brett, you are also in a show.
I am in Rent, coming up April 4th through the 6th at Beyond the Stage Productions. Go to the Rent Project for any information on that.
Ooh.
Good stuff. We got business cards. Go see Tribes the Play. Go see Rent. Go see Spelling Bee. Do you have anything else that you can think of offhand that we should talk about?
Also, I think Legally Blonde is still playing through the end of March.
Yes, through the end of March at Simi Valley Cultural Arts Center.
Yes.
simi-arts.org.
Yes, I think that's about covering it.
That's about it, huh?
Yeah.
Let's get to our amazing guests.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break, adjust the cameras. We'll be back on La La Land. If you want to join the conversation, make sure you give us a call at 323-247-7443, 323-247-7443. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, Twitter at twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk, and you can send us an email at lalalandtalk@gmail.com. We're playing Zero Dark Dirty trailer a little early, but I guess we'll go out to that. That's all right. We can go out to that instead of music. If you want?
Bin Laden.
Listen to this, guys. We'll be back on La La Land on LA Talk Live. This is Zero Dark Dirty. Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
And there's Brett Chapin.
Brett Stewart. Welcome, Mr. Patrick Cassidy. We have with us Mr. Patrick Cassidy, actor, producer. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
That applause in my head is killing me. That's when I go to sleep tonight.
Make sure you call in and join the conversation too, guys. It's 1-323-247-7443, 323-247-7443. And Patrick, you are on the show today mainly to talk about this amazing event that you have going on April 6th.
It's an event it's in their 29th year. And I've actually done it probably 15, 16 times. I've done it with my brothers, David Cassidy and Sean Cassidy. It's the only time actually in history that both my brothers and myself ever performed live publicly.
Huh.
We've done a lot of stuff, during Christmas time around the piano at the house, but never actually in front of the public. And then I've done it with my mom. And this year, I'm doing it with my mom. And usually what the format is that they tribute a different composer every year. They've done Sondheim 3 or 4 times. They've done Lerner and Lowe. They've done Rodgers and Hammerstein. And this year, it's a sort of all-out, all-theater thing. So it's all composers and all musicals. And my mother and I are doing a whole sort of piece from The Music Man. She is the original Marion the Librarian from the film, and I've done Harold Hill many times, and now she plays Mrs. Peru, the mother of Marion the Librarian. And we did it last summer at Sacramento, and it was so successful that I got a bunch of people together, my partner and stuff, and we're going to produce it in 2014 and take it on the road with symphonies. And it's more going to be an event of the film too, because we're going to tribute the 50-year anniversary of the actual movie The Music Man. So there's going to be film clips, there's going to be a lot of archival footage and stories that only my mother knows. And so it's pretty cool, along with 26 dancers and singers and a full orchestra on stage. And we're talking to the Hollywood Bowl and many places. We're lining up all dates now, so it's exciting.
Excellent. You and your mom will have to come back when you
that'd be great. That would be great.
And you said we were talking a little bit in the pre-interview, and by the way, for information on this event, this is the Southland Theater Artists Goodwill event at the Sabin Theater, April 6th at 8 p.m.
That's correct. Yes, and it's the Saban Theater. It's on Wilshire and La Cienega. It used to be the old Wilshire Theater, and they do the event there every year, and it's quite nice. It's a big house, so get your tickets.
And there's a lot of Broadway celebrities that are going to be performing.
Oh, they get a lineup that's pretty amazing. They did I think last year or 2 years ago, they did originals, people that originated parts.
Oh,
so they had Donna McKechnie doing Chorus Line.
Jeez Louise.
They had Pam Myers doing Company.
Nice.
They had, I did Assassins. I had originated Assassins and a show called Leader of the Pack on Broadway. And so and that was really amazing. I mean, you're sort of with people that, originated roles that are now infamous.
Absolutely. I think
Infamous.
I think this year it's you and Florence Henderson and Davis Gaines and Andrew Reynolds. There's a lot of really top talent.
Yeah, it's great. It's always good. It's star-studded, but more you get some tremendous talent. They had the original Dreamgirls on one year.
Oh wow,
which was pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
And this is a yearly event. It happens in April every year?
Yeah, every year, and it's to benefit AIDS and AIDS Project Los Angeles. All the money goes to that, and they've done amazing work. They started their own dentistry program for patients and a grocery stores for patients and stuff. It's really given a lot of money to people that have been suffering for many years.
I did the AIDS Marathon in 2002.
Oh, really?
And through AIDS Project Los Angeles. And it was, they would have at our training sessions at 7 a.m, they would have people come and talk about what these services do for them and how we are directly affecting and helping them out through this wonderful charity. It was a great experience.
This particular one, I've been told, is the biggest one in the world. I thought it was just in our country, but it's actually the biggest fundraiser in the world. So,
wow.
Yeah, and they've recorded it many times. There are CDs out from it, and as I said, I've done it with my brother Sean a couple times. I've done it with my brothers Sean and David, and I've done it with my mother many times. And this year will be one of those.
That's great. What? How many seats does the Saban Theater have?
I think it's in the 2,800 area, 2,600. It's pretty large.
Okay. Yeah. Plenty of room there.
Yeah, it's a big theater.
Excellent.
Now, I want to hear some of these, like a story that maybe your mother would have about music making.
Oh, it's a classic one.
I want to hear this.
Well, my mother, and we tell it actually in the show. This is one of the stories, and I've told it many times, so I don't mind telling it. But this is about 3 months into filming The Music Man. She discovered that she was pregnant with yours truly, and she didn't want to tell anybody. The director, Morton DaCosta, said we shouldn't tell anyone because for fear that she might get fired. Mm-hmm. So they kept it a secret from everyone, including her co-star, Robert Preston. So he wasn't told. And as the months went by and Mom continued to expand, the wardrobe people added extra pieces of material to cover her up, a little more bustle. They would cinch the corset in a little extra tight, thus the configuration of my head. And they proceeded on, right? Well, they got to the footbridge scene, which is a very famous scene in the movie because they both sing "Till There Was You," and it's the only on-screen kiss that Harold Hill and Marion have. Mm-hmm. So my mother leaned in and he leaned in to kiss, and he felt from underneath her petticoat this thump. And he paused. And he stepped back and he said, "What the heck was that?" So the cat was out of the bag, or in this case, the bun out of the oven, and she said, "That's Patrick Cassidy." Well, the addendum to the story is that 20 years later, I was doing a show in New York that was produced by Alexander Cohen. It was called Night of 100 Stars. And if you've never seen it, go on YouTube and see it. It's an amazing event. You can't believe the talent that was there. And I was doing Pirates at the time on Broadway. And Robert Preston was at this event. So I went backstage to his dressing room to finally meet him. And I knocked on his dressing room door, and the door opened, and I stepped forward nervously. I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Preston, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Patrick Cassidy." And without missing a beat, he stepped back and he said, "Oh, no, we've already met." So that's just one of the little stories that we tell within the show, and in terms of, like I said, my mother's perspective about what happened in rehearsal. She has many stories about her and Preston, her with Anna White, the famous choreographer who did it, and it's quite a nostalgic evening.
Now, you didn't kick him the second time, did you? You met him just the first time.
Only when I tried to do Harold Hill after him,
Yes.
and nobody can. So,
yeah, I'm sure that you have a ton of great stories, and your mom does too, and you can probably hear a couple of those at the stage event April 6th.
That's correct. That is correct.
Saban Theater.
And they're going to show some film clips as well. So.
Oh, excellent. Mm-hmm. Excellent. So I don't know. I mean, you've been doing it for quite a while now, and since a very young age. What advice would you give to a young actor starting out?
Don't go into show business.
We hear that a lot.
I say that to my children all the time.
Yeah.
No, it's such a different business now than when I came up. I had the advantage in that my family was in it. So from the moment I was conceived, literally. I had a camera in my face, I had a lot of wonderful examples in front of me of what not to do, of what to do. And when I made the decision, and it was after high school that I really got into the theater department, and I moved to New York, and I got cast in a Broadway show, and I was studying in the daytime and doing a show at night with Kevin Kline and the late George Rose and all these incredible theater people. And so I was learning on my feet, but today it's a much different thing. I mean, so many performers, go to Northwestern and they train in dance and in acting and in singing, and they know it all. And not only you have to know that, you have to know how to direct and know how to play an instrument and know how to do a trapeze. I mean, it is such a multitude of talents that I think have to possess. And if you're willing to put in that kind of training and that kind of time, I say by all means go for it, because that's your dream and that's what you want to do. But my advice to both my children all the time, and they are very talented themselves, is, which I did not do, which is to have something to fall back on. Whatever that may be, have another skill, which, by the way, would help you as an actor or a performer. Any other skill, if you're a mechanic or a carpenter or anything, that just adds to your knowledge about the world and about character and all that. So to have that, because this is the only business I know where you can work at it for, say, 34 years, which I've been doing it now, and you can amass this huge resume that I have of, awards and things like that and all that, and still you're only as good as your last audition. And that's the truth. I mean, to a degree. I have people that know me and will hire me? Yes, but for the most part, like in the corporate world, you work your way up the corporate ladder and you get this huge resume under you. It actually pays off for you. But in show business, it doesn't really work that way.
Right.
You're still an actor for hire. You're always a gun for hire, and that's why I produce now. And I've directed some stuff now, and I opened up an acting academy called Hollywood Stage Academy up where I live. And that's been great. And it's also been a chance for me to really give back of what I've learned for 34 years.
Fantastic. Where can people find information about Hollywood Stage Academy?
We have a website. It's Hollywood Stage Academy. It's up in Agoura and Westlake and Thousand Oaks. And I developed it purely for the fact that I had coached my children in sports and things like that. And I really found I loved doing that and working with kids. And then I thought, well, why can't I teach them what I've learned in my craft? And I love that more than anything at this point. I really enjoy doing that. I still love performing, and I'll still perform, as long as I can walk. But getting a chance to pass on that knowledge to other kids is fantastic.
I can imagine. Definitely.
And especially coming from, you were a performer yourself, and then coaching first, and then teaching the acting. I think that's a great flow, because I started teaching dance, and then I didn't really have the teamwork aspect knowledge that a coach would. Mm-hmm. And once I married my husband, he started kind of teaching me about, he's a big OU football fan. Mm-hmm. And so he was teaching me about all these different coaches and all these coaching styles. And I was reading about them and listening to what they had to say about forming a team, as opposed to, finding that one person. It's about that process of everyone working together.
Oh, it's a totally collaborative, which is the theater.
Which is the theater, but I think some acting teachers forget to teach that. I think they focus too much on what do you bring to the table. It's like, what can everybody work with? And I think that helped me direct better. It helped me teach better. It really filled out the empty spaces in my
sports. I mean, I played football, and I was going to go to college. I was going to be a quarterback and all that, and I broke my collarbone my senior year, and that's what got me into the theater department. And the spring musical at Beverly Hills High School that I attended was The Music Man. So you think it has a little history in my life. So, but what I was going to say is that whole sports metaphor in terms of not just team, but the commitment it takes, the discipline it takes, all of that is what you learn so much from sports and carries over into theater and into performing. To make a movie, it's a collaborative effort of an editor and a director and sound people, and same thing with the show. To put on a show, we're putting on a kids version of The Sound of Music for our acting academy now, and it's a huge collaborative effort, and all the parents are involved. One's a carpenter, one's building the costumes, one's working on sound. So it's a wonderful thing. And like you said, having the sports background I did in that coaching thing, I just sort of took that over into the theater deal.
Great.
Fantastic. Well, make sure you go out to the stage benefit, guys, at the Saban Theater, April 6th, 8 p.m. You'll see Patrick Cassidy. You'll see Florence Henderson. You'll see Davis Gaines, who, by the way, is going to be joining us on the 30th.
That's right.
You'll see Shirley Jones.
You'll see Shirley Jones, most importantly. And I was telling you on the in the pre-interview, and I'm just going to say it on air, I got to say your mom is definitely one of my main reasons for getting involved in theater. I said to myself, if I can find a woman like that, I'm doing this theater thing.
Well, I can't tell you there have been so many actresses, including Patti LuPone and Kelly O'Hara and Sutton Foster, that have come. I've worked with them all and their friends, and who have come up to me and said, your mother's the reason I started singing.
I'm sure you get that all the time.
Wow.
All the time.
Yeah,
which is true. I mean, she is an icon in the movie musical world, and that's part of the reason, why I put together Music Man, because I wanted to tribute her as well as the film.
Sure. I mean, clearly she's lovely, but she just has the most beautiful voice too. I mean, and she dances. I mean, she's multi-talented. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I agree.
So go see Shirley Jones and Patrick Cassidy, April 6th. Stage benefit, Southland Theater Artists Goodwill event benefiting AIDS Project Los Angeles at the Saban Theater. And thank you again for joining us, Patrick.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We're going to shift without a commercial. What do you think?
Shazam, let's do it.
All right. Right over here.
I get a Shazam introduction?
Perfect.
I get a Shazam introduction. I
Yeah.
like
It's better than a Patrick Stewart.
Well played, Cassidy. Well played.
Oh, he's going to come back next week just to say that
Just
again.
to do it again, I know.
Peter James Smith,
Hello.
actor extraordinaire. You can find Peter at PJS Actor on Twitter. He's with the Geddes Agency. And thank you so much for joining us, Peter.
Sure, thanks for inviting me.
So let's talk a little bit about all your amazing television work. I went on, I checked out your reel. You have a lot of great work done. You have an amazing scene with David Caruso. You've done some work on Friends and some other things. And so I wanted to kind of get in and focus a little bit on television work.
Okay.
We talk a lot about theater on the
It's true.
show. So, and you work in theater as well. Can you talk to us a little bit about the differences between theater and television? How is it different? How is it the same? And we're going to get into you and your personal history too, but
Right.
I wanted to kind of
Yeah, I guess the
start
first
off there.
thing that pops into my head is because TV is so quick, auditions can come on the same day, and sometimes you're on set the same day as the audition, that you have to bring a lot of yourself to it. Whereas with theater, you have a lot more time to create someone different.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say that's probably the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it kind of tough having to do the scene over and over again, where as opposed to theater where you get one shot to get it right, or do you think that makes it easier?
Oh gosh, for some reason you just reminded me of me doing the car plays. Do you know the car plays?
Yes.
Moving Arts does car plays, which is 10-minute plays performed in an actual car for an audience of 2 people. And so when you do that, you're doing the same play 30 times in one night, because after 10 minutes, another 2 people get in.
That's true.
And that actually helped me amazingly with my film work. Actually, after doing the car plays, I was like, "Wow, this is easy now," because I'm not doing it 30 times with no break.
Wow, that is. Oh,
Imagine.
So
that sounds good.
So do the car plays. Everybody, go act in the car plays if you want to do.
And you'll learn television.
Exactly.
That way. Love it. What about you? How did you first get started in acting? What made the bug bite you?
That's such. I did this one-man show in San Diego years and years ago that talked a little bit about that. My mom wanted to be a singer. My dad wanted to be a professional sports player. And so I think there was always that kind of need for audience in my family. And there's that, is it Jung that said there's no greater influence on a child than the unlived dreams of its parents?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And also another kind of like flip answer is I was kind of a latchkey kid. You know, so I'd come home and I'd watch TV, and you know, I'd get my little moral lessons from, you know, family sitcoms, and it was almost like it taught me my morality, or was almost my parent after school. So in order to please my parent at the television, I became an actor.
Oh.
So I want to be inside that thing.
Exactly.
What is that line from Cable Guy? I'm the bastard child of Claire Huxtable. That's one of my favorites. That's like my favorite line from Cable Guy ever.
I don't know that line.
You don't know?
I'm so fearful because my children watch The Family Guy. And that's
God.
my brain is
I
now
can't
just
deal.
squirreling.
Oh my goodness.
How old are they, though?
I have a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old, but when you said that, I was just like, oh, no.
You're so screwed, Patrick. Sorry, you're totally screwed.
Well, I hope they're not latchkey kids. I'm sure they're not.
They have supervision.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay.
They do now.
And you kind of grew up on television like a lot of us did. I mean, I think Carol Brady raised half of America.
Oh yeah,
Honestly.
after school that was always on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And actually, probably one of the first times I thought I could be an actor was watching MASH. There's an episode where BJ almost adopts a Korean orphan. And that episode of the title of the episode is Kim, which is the name of the Korean orphan, and I was an Asian kid, and I was like, hey, there's an Asian kid on TV.
Oh, that's true.
I can do that. I can do that.
Because that probably you know, you're watching TV. Do you see? Would you have grown up seeing a lot of people that you could visually relate to? Maybe not so much.
Just MASH is all I could think of.
Wow.
There was the Asian nurse, and then there was that kid,
Wow.
Very
and
nice.
a lot of soldiers.
Well, because back in that time, there was a lot less minority casting. Am I right?
Yeah.
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 So
Across the board.
yeah, they did it in MASH, and you said it's my time.
Yes.
Yeah. And did you go to college for?
I didn't.
acting?
I was in San Diego, and I was doing pretty well in the theater scene down there. And I was, you know, the time, like after high school, I'm like, okay, well, do I go to college? Do I just go to LA? It's not that far away. And I've heard so many pros and cons to both routes. And I really figured that I just chose the path to try to do the work and learn that way. And, you know, after schooling, I hear about huge college debts and, you know, and maybe it's seems like such a treacherous path, because you have to be strong enough to hear what your teachers say, but not take it on if it's not right for you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I wasn't sure if I had that. Like, it's hard to, how do I put this?
It's hard to know what to take in and
Right.
what
When
to,
you're so young,
back.
you're still
Yeah.
pretty malleable.
You're still learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the program that people go to, if they do tend to be malleable, is one that builds up their confidence to make those decisions for themselves. Like, I came from a small town. I was very sheltered. And so for me, going straight to LA or New York would have meant that I would have been, you know, dead on a street corner in probably a year. So for me, it was a better choice to kind of make the next step up. Also, I was very bookish, and I didn't want to go and be an actor all day. I wanted to go and learn more about history and poli-sci and all those different things first. And it's the choice that worked for me.
Yeah,
But,
no,
you know,
they're good and bad stories either direction.
exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
None of my family, the boys, went to college, and but it was a little different thing. And like I said,
Of course, yeah.
I'm trying to encourage both my kids to go. But I heard a story the other day, a guy, very, very wealthy guy, has 2 daughters, and he believes that to set a child up and take that college money and set them up in a business from the time they're like 16, teach them the craft of that business, whether it be, you know, a clothing store or something, and have them have an actual trade that they've learned, that they know. But by the time they're 25, you've taken that money and you've built a business for them. I'm not, obviously, if you're a doctor or a lawyer, you have to go to college, but that there's an alternative to college for people if you know your family has the money to do that.
Interesting. I mean, you and your brothers didn't, and you
No,
seemed to work out well.
yes, it did, and I remember very specifically when my mother was saying, "Go to college, go to college." I said, "Wait a minute, look at my examples. You've got to be kidding me. I'm not gonna look what Sean did. Look at it." But I chose also not to do the teen idol thing, which was the best feather in my cap. It gave me some longevity, which was nice.
And that was an
Imagine.
education in and of itself.
Yeah.
Watching your brothers go through everything. So everything's an education. It's just a matter of which one you choose
That's
and
right.
which one works the best for you.
Doing this show is an education.
Well, you're doing
Believe
awesome.
me.
You're doing great.
Believe me.
It's been a 2-year education for me. You want to talk about the ovations a little bit? Let's talk about the ovations.
Sure.
Peter James Smith is an ovation voter. For those that don't know, the Ovation Awards is kind of like the West Coast version of the Tony Awards. And there's 250 people selected. We get to go see different shows and vote on them. How are you enjoying the process, and would you encourage it for other people?
Oh yeah, definitely. You learn so much about this community. You feel the community, which maybe is hard to do if you're not as immersed as Ovation voters are. You know,
Because we have to see a minimum amount of shows a year, so
Yes.
you kind of have to be immersed.
yeah, and not only that, but you have to see a minimum number of different companies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think 5 99-seat theaters they have to be, or maybe it's
No,
20.
no, yeah. If out of the 25 we have to see, 20 have to be
20.
the 99-seat or less.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and
I hope I got that right.
I think it's right.
In case anyone from Ovations is watching or
I know.
listening,
Well, we're going to be having Doug Clayton and Jeannie Hackett on next week,
and they know.
so they can clear it up for us. Yeah. And would it be something you think you would encourage other people, because there is a huge vetting process, and you know, you have an interview in front of the board and everything.
Yeah.
Do you think it's something that you would encourage other people to do?
Sure. I mean, if you're interested and willing to put in the time, definitely. I mean, I think it's a great way to learn as a theater artist. I think it's a great way to connect to the theater community. I also think it helps. Well, like I said, learn. I'm repeating myself, but
You're
I'm
learning
not
a
sure.
lot.
Yeah.
I know I'm learning a lot.
yeah,
So,
yeah. How long have you been a voter?
This is my first year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
So-
this is my 3rd out of 5 years, so I was not a voter for 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I presented at the first one, and my wife was pregnant with our first son.
Hey.
And I said, and the winner of the, whatever it was, 1980, whatever, ovulation awards is. I
She
did.
was-
I said she was ovulating at the time, and I was completely. She told me that, you know, she said, and I thought, and I totally panicked on the stage.
You're a little distracted.
Ovation, ovulation.
Wait, she was pregnant, or you were trying to get pregnant?
She was trying. That's exactly right. We were trying to get pregnant. We'd been doing it for 3 months, and I was very frustrated with the whole process. and I was presenting at the Ovation Awards and said the ovulation award goes to.
Awesome.
Well, it could have been worse. You could have called her Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
You're nice. Peter James Smith, where can people find information about you? PJS Actor at Twitter.
PJS Actor at Twitter. Also, my agency Gettys.net has a page for each of their clients, so I'm on there.
Love it.
You can Google me. A couple of interesting things come up.
Google him on YouTube for sure. He's got his reel up there with all these. He's got a really intense scene with David Caruso where David, right before they cut to commercial, David Caruso is about to kick his butt.
So did he put his glasses on, or did he take them off?
Gosh, I don't
took them
remember.
off.
Oh, you took them off. Okay,
took them
you've
off.
seen it more recently than I have.
See, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, that's a very important point. Whether he put them on
Was it CSI
or
Miami?
he
Yes.
took them off.
I did that as well. I remember working with David very well.
Yeah.
Check him out on YouTube, Twitter, all those places. He's got a clip up of a show that he did at Celebration Theater, I believe, as well.
Yes, called
good
Prodigal Father with Max Gale. That was a good time.
Very nice.
My good friend Larry Dean Harris wrote that, who also runs the West Coast branch of the Dramatists Guild.
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah. So.
Cool. Peter James Smith, thank you so much.
Cool. Thanks.
all right.
We're going to go to a quick commercial, and we're going to come back with a live in-studio performance.
Shazam.
Shazam.
Another
It's about
Shazam.
time we had one of these. We
Entering.
haven't had one of these in 2 weeks. Since
I know.
The kids.
I know. Yeah, I had my High School Musical people on performing.
awesome.
It was hilarious.
We're going to be back with Alexander Loy and Noelle Locke of the movie Zero Dark Dirty, singing the song Cobble Wobble. If you have any questions for them or any of our guests, make sure you give us a call at 323-247-7443. 323-247-7443. We'll be back on La La Land on LA Talk Live. Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
Hello.
I'm Brett Chapin.
Yes, you are.
That's Alexander Loy and Noelle Locke with Cobble Wobble.
What's up, guys?
Take it away, guys.
Hold on, let me get you in there. All right.
Couldn't hear it before. Could you start over?
Take two. Take two on Cobble Wobble. Alexander Loy and Noelle Locke are from the film Zero Dark Dirty, I should say.
Well, my life was so uncertain, I was sitting there and hurting. Well, I never thought I'd find me a girl, but I saw you there in Kabul, and I swear my knees they wobbled, and I could have sworn I saw you do a twirl.
I don't know what you were watching, but your guitar you were clutching, and it wasn't even with you on your back. But I thought that you were charming, and your smile was so disarming. Never mind that you were staring at my rack.
Couldn't wait to get you with me in the sack.
And I'm glad you weren't stationed in Iraq.
We go together like a shirt and tie, like foam in a beer mug, like rain in the sky. Our dreams are endless, our hearts are too, and I'll tell ya, ain't nothing like loving you. Now girly, 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 I met you pretty early, back before you had them things under your top. And although your body's rocking, that ain't why my knees are knocking. It's your smile that shot an arrow through my heart.
Now that's my kind of talking. On our trails we were walking, and they led us to this charming desert town, where the people weren't wealthy, their economy unhealthy, but their spirits turned our frowns upside down.
We go together like a shirt and tie, like foam in a beer mug, like rain in the sky. Our dreams are endless, our hearts are too, and I'll tell ya, ain't nothing like loving you. And I'll tell ya, ain't nothing like loving you.
Alexander Loy and Noelle Locke, producers and actors of Zero Dark Dirty. We're going to take a quick commercial and be back to talk to them on La La Land on LA Talk Live. Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham, Blue.
There's Brett Chapin.
And we are here with the amazing Alexander Loy and Noelle Locke of Zero Dark Dirty, the film. If you have any questions for them, make sure you give us a call at 323-247-7443. 323-247-7443, and we're going to talk to you guys in just a minute as soon as we thank our amazing sponsors this week. What happened this week? This was amazing.
What happened is we started getting some love.
Really did.
That's what happened this week, and we so appreciate it, you guys. Brett founded this 103 episodes ago because he really wanted a place, a forum for people to come and talk about their craft and about what's going on in LA, which is an explosion of theater and arts, and he's been doing it on nothing. So thank you so much for helping us continue, for helping me continue to be part of the process too. And hats off to Brett for getting it all going. Let's thank some sponsors, huh?
Yeah, thanks to our sponsors. We had a fantastic contribution, a sponsorship contribution from Caitlin Bauer.
Yes.
Michael Seal was also very generous. Lauren Hawkins, Kristen Towers-Rolls. And I'm trying to remember the names of everybody, and I don't, because there's two more that I'm missing. But if you look on there, we'll give your name out before the end of the show.
Okay, is it on our Facebook page?
Yeah, on our Facebook page, just click on the sponsor La La Land Season 3, and we'll be on there. You can see I'm very prepared for this particular segment.
Clearly, but that's okay.
But thank you so much to our sponsors, guys. Honestly, the fact that we're able to come here every week and do this and introduce you to the amazing talent that Los Angeles has, we consider ourselves very lucky. So thank you for allowing us to bring this to you and for sponsoring us as well. If you would like to sponsor us, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, and you'll see a link for sponsor La La Land Season 3. This show is not cheap to produce, so please help us out.
We're expensive.
Yes. Back to Alexander Loy and Noelle Locke, and we have a phone call as well. We have your music director, would it be?
No, Quinn, right?
You got Quinn on the phone?
Yeah.
Quinn is my writing partner. We wrote that particular song together, actually.
Awesome.
And all the songs we wrote together, actually.
Hey, Quinn.
Hello.
Hey, long time no see.
Hey, it feels like we're having a house party on the radio station.
Excellent. You guys sounded lovely on that song, by the way, over the phone.
We hope you did. We hope we did you proud, Quinn.
You really did.
Oh, it sounded lovely.
Okay,
It took me back. Such memories.
So your film Zero Dark Dirty, it is a film that has come out recently, and it is with Daniel Baldwin, Corey Feldman, the Iron Sheik,
Frank Stallone.
Frank Stallone,
Yeah. Who actually produced that song
Yes.
and the songs in the film. He was our music
Producer. Yeah.
And when people hear the title, things come to their mind. Tell us a little bit about
Like pornography?
the film. Well, maybe. I explained to everybody last week, though, that this was not pornography. But,
Thanks.
but tell us what the film's about.
Well,
And both you two are in it as well.
yes. So the film is about an American rock and roll musician who goes to Afghanistan to sing and convert the people to our ways of thinking.
Okay.
That's sort of the overall plot, but lots of crazy stuff happens in the movie. There's a whole sort of army secret operation going on, and there's all kinds of zany characters, and Corey Feldman plays an absolutely insane comedian that insults everybody out there in Afghanistan.
He was one of my favorite parts of the film.
He's fabulous.
Great job. I told him to call in, by the way, on Twitter. Corey, where are you?
You know, he's probably just waking up right now from a raucous night of partying.
I can imagine.
Okay. Good.
Can
good
people
signs.
find information on the film? Like, is there? I know that you have your trailers up on YouTube.
Yeah, you can go to zerodarkdirty.com and you can find information on our release dates. Right now, we don't have a specific release date posted, but we know we're releasing mid-May for home video, and we're looking at potentially doing something theatrical prior to that. But you know, we've got high ambitions and low budgets.
And you guys actually got out of the premiere in Texas when you found out that Bin Laden had been
Yeah.
taken care
So
of.
yeah. So the story is really Corey had been invited to do a tour of the Alamo Drafthouse Cinemas out in Texas, and we did 3 cities with showing the film. It was just brand new then, just finished, and we were just sort of using it as a Quinn, your kids are in the show. We were just using it as a test sort of market screening thing.
Uh-huh.
And when we were out there in Houston, May 1st, 2011. We show the film, we do a Q&A afterwards, sign some autographs, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's excited. We come out of the theater and we start checking out Twitter, and there's tweets like, oh my God, it really happened. Corey Feldman really killed Bin Laden.
What?
We're in the taxi going back to the hotel and go, what? And we get to the hotel, we turn on the TV, and Obama's announcing that Bin Laden had been killed. Right on cue. Thank you, Obama. We appreciate that, man. And the next day, the story broke that Corey Feldman killed Bin Laden. And then later, we found out it was SEAL Team 6.
Right. Which was clearly fabricated. It was obviously Corey.
Absolutely. So, yeah, total psyop. We did it.
What about for you, Noelle? What has your experience been like working on the film? You're a producer and one of the main actors in the film.
Yeah, no, it's been a learning experience. I mean, we started this from the beginning, and here we are now, and we've seen the whole project through. Alex, with an amazing help from everybody involved, but really he put the film together. He edited it. He color corrected it. It's been.
Don't give me too much credit, because maybe people won't like it too much.
But it's been a process, a huge learning process. I've learned so much about filmmaking here.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to use a lot of your musical theater background in the film.
Yeah, well,
one particular scene that I can think of
yeah.
at the piano.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alex wrote the film with a musical theater girl involved, and thought of me. I don't know why. threat on his life, maybe, I don't know. But I got to sing at the piano this beautiful love song that he and Quinn wrote, and
To each other, actually.
Yeah, they wrote to each other.
That
but
was for you, Quinn.
Quinn, what about doing the music for the film? How have you enjoyed it, and what's it been like?
Oh my gosh! Oh, I had so much fun. I mean, really, it's a comedy of errors, us writing the music together. But we came out with some pretty cool stuff, I believe.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Quinn's actually performing in the film as Javert, and I think your version is better than Russell Crowe.
Oh, that wouldn't be hard.
That's true. I guess so.
Yes, Quinn has a scene with Frank Stallone.
Nice.
Good stuff. Well, guys, make sure are you raising your hand?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Holding it there. Sorry.
sorry.
Now, how did I have to ask? Like, where did the idea for doing this film come from? Because it's a pretty big idea.
Yeah.
That's a good story. I had a friend who was 6'7", and he took giant bong loads, and I happened to be in the room at the time, and I didn't inhale.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was around that time is when Walk the Line came out, and I was I really liked the film, and it was one of the main influences for this. But we decided we'd put Elvis in Afghanistan, and I told Noelle this idea, and she thought that it was good, and I still don't know why she thought it was good, but she was being nice, I guess, I don't know. But so we just started writing this movie, and when time came to get it produced, everybody was saying, the rule is in Hollywood is you got to get some names, you got to get famous people to be in your film, so that you can have a chance to getting it distributed. So we kind of went and did that too. But they all were great performances. They were, especially Corey. He was out of control.
What made you think of Corey for the role? That's an interesting casting choice.
Yeah,
but it works really well.
Yeah, we to be honest, we weren't really sure. I hadn't been familiar with his work very much as an adult. I hadn't seen a lot of his work as an adult, and so, but he happened to be available at the time and enjoyed the screenplay. And had some great ideas about what he wanted to do with the character. Right. And Corey Feldman is a very well-known person, so we took a chance, and he came up with some great ideas about face makeup and making this guy really out there.
Yeah.
So he's wearing a full Star Wars style makeup outfit.
Big prosthetic nose.
Yeah, big prosthetic nose, the whole night. And
he's Jewtastic.
He's Jewtastic, yeah. Yeah, we're very politically correct in this film.
They say that in the movie. That's not me. That's Noelle and Alexander.
Actually, that's Corey. I think he ad-libbed that line.
It's
his fault.
Have you met, speaking of that, have you met with any controversy from any maybe Muslim groups or any groups that are maybe a little bit haven't seen the film and don't know what it's about but think it's offensive?
We've scared a lot of would-be distributors away. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you that much. But honestly, I don't think we're more offensive than South Park.
I don't think so either. And honestly, your film is very sensitive too because it gets into the whole scene with the I hate to call him the soup Nazi, but the guy, and he talks about what his family went through, and what he's had to deal with living there and growing up there. So I think there's a lot of sensitivity in the film too that might not be apparent in the trailer.
Yeah, I mean it's a comedy first, and we want to get everybody laughing. And if you're really thin-skinned, then you really should see this movie. But if you don't want to, I guess that's okay. But we haven't run into any people threatening us yet.
Okay. Hopefully that doesn't begin.
No, but I think there's controversy in general about the whole Bin Laden thing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who are like, "Show me the body.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the dude?" And people are wondering if it's all real, if it really did happen the way we're being told in the movies. So we got a different version of how it went down.
Yeah, you're I want to give it away, but it's definitely not the SEAL Team 6 version.
No,
yeah.
Definitely not.
SEAL Team 16, no.
Well, for all information on this film, go to ZeroDarkThirty.com. You can find Alexander and Noelle on Twitter as well at Alexander Loy and BRAKE
KALG. Is that what you did?
K-
Break a leg.
Break a leg, yeah.
Yeah,
And
mine has an underscore. The other Alexander Loy is a bioscientist.
oh,
Don't listen to him; it's boring.
Alexander_Loy for any information. Thanks so much, guys, for
Thank
joining
you
us.
for having us.
Best of luck on the
Thank
film.
Thank you.
All right, we gotta go. Because I thought of a funny Corey Feldman story, but I'll tell you guys off air.
Oh.
It has to do with me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Corey Feldman's dad was my first audition. That's basically what it is.
To play Corey Feldman's dad?
No, for Corey Feldman's dad.
Oh, okay.
He used to have an acting school.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
right, yes.
So 10 years old, my very first audition, my 10th birthday, was for Corey Feldman's dad. I was
Feldman's
hoping he
dad
was
was
going to
a-
call in so I could tell him this, but
Feldman's dad is an acting teacher.
Corey Feldman's dad was an acting teacher. Not anymore.
Wow.
We met at the Roosevelt Hotel, and it was really cool at 10 years old for that. But,
Yeah, I bet it was.
yeah. Anyway, onward. I'll tell you off air. Next week we are going to be having the amazing Jeannie Hackett and the amazing Doug Clayton, both with their own respective projects, but they also are both involved with the LA Stage Alliance. So we're looking forward to talking to them. Are you on vacation next week?
No. Wait, yes. Sorry, yes. I'm on vacation next week.
Okay.
I'll be in Oklahoma visiting my in-laws. I'll
Love
see
it.
you guys very soon. They tune in, so they're excited. Talk to me about the show and all their opinions about it.
Awesome.
So we'll see how that goes.
Call in if you want, or have your family call in
yeah.
and give us feedback or something.
Ooh, yes. I will call.
Dorothy's our second place runner-up for our co-host search is going to be co-hosting with me, filling in for Dorothy,
Yep.
Peter Miller.
Peter, yes. Peter and I are in Spelling Bee together, which is so fun.
Good stuff.
And he's very nice.
And it's not awkward.
Not at all.
I love it.
Sorry I beat you. But but he's very nice.
Make
Have a
sure to
good time.
tune in for that next week.
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely. He's a hoot.
For any information on us, you can go to facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. I didn't say goodbye to Quinn, but goodbye, Quinn Gonzalez. You can send us an email at lalalandtalk@gmail.com.
And don't forget, you can go to Indiegogo to sponsor us for season 3.
Yes, look us up. Sponsor La La Land Talk Season 3 on Indiegogo.com. And it's also on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Until next week, I'm Brett Chapin.
All right, see you guys in a couple weeks.
That's Dorothy Dillingham
That's
Blue.
me.
This is La La Land on LA Talk Live. We'll see you at the top.